Alright, how's it going everybody or anyone who's watching? My name is Matthew, I'll be your host, and I'm here for a UU game. I haven't played a lot of UU, and I think I might be uploading this before I do a kind of session that I did with this team, because I've been really enjoying this team. I think this team is really, really fun. It might not be the best team, but it is a very fun team. I've really been enjoying this team, but this video is a very short battle. It's not even a complete battle, but I really enjoyed it. I thought I played pretty well in this battle, but this video isn't particularly for the battle itself. It's just kind of a rant. I'm not sure if I'd call it a rant, but it's just me kind of complaining about a few things. And specifically the UU ladder. I don't know if I'd mentioned it before. I'm pretty sure I have in a few other videos way back in the day, but the reason I stopped playing UU is the meta. I call it the meta, but it's really the players, I suppose, is the way to call it. But the UU ladder just really annoys me. Like, there's a lot of things about the UU ladder that just really, really annoys me and really, I suppose, aggravates me and really makes the game not very fun. I don't really know how to explain it without any context, so I'll go over the battle. I will show a... I'll explain it when we get to it. Let's just enjoy this brief battle while we have the chance, because I did really enjoy this battle. I did think it was a good battle. I think my opponent played not bad at all. He just expected me to use, not the random set that I'm using, so I will just lead off right here. So I lead off with Frostlass on the Empoleon, which, I mean, Frostlass leads against, like, a good amount of things. It doesn't lead against the Cobalion, so that's that thing. I'm gonna taunt as he goes for Scald, not Rocks, but I do have the Toxicroak anyways in the bag, so I do go into Toxicroak next turn. Goes for Ice Beam for lack of a better move to hit Toxicroak, because that's obviously what's coming in, and I'm going to double to Frostlass on his Gligar coming in. Now, he predicts me to predict his Empoleon coming in, and just is able to go for a knockoff, so that's actually a really ballsy play, and it worked out very nicely for him, because he's able to knock off my Life Orb. I'm just going to be able to Pain Split the next turn, because, I mean, Empoleon pretty much walls, especially now that I've lost my Life Orb, because yeah, Frostlass is pretty weak. In case you didn't know, I'm just a fully offensive Frostlass, which is a very uncommon set. Go hard into Blastoise, and these things typically carry Aura Sphere. I'm not, because, I mean, I guess I'll show my set eventually, but I'm not. I just go for Scald because, I mean, I technically can 1v1 it because I can Wish Pass and Heal Bell and he can't, so I can 1v1 his better than he can 1v1 mine, so I'm able to get the burn on the Sceptile, which is really nice, and I have the Umbreon to come in on the Giga Drain, and that's, well, it works out for me. I'm going to pivot into Toxicroak on his Focus Blast. Focus Blast from Sceptile generally does not reveal what item my Toxicroak is, and the reason it doesn't is because it is resisted, it is non-stab, and it still does 20, so people generally don't know that I'm Assault Vest, so they assume Dragon Pulse is going to kill, and as we can see, it doesn't, so really good. This is my Sceptile counter on my team anyway, so that works out very nicely for me, able to take out the Sceptile thanks to my fun set that I'm using. Sub-DD Gara is a scary as hell set. Sub-DD Gara is ridiculous. It's very, very scary set, so I want to go hard into Umbreon, just start firing off some foul plays. I can break the sub, I can live hits from it, and I could hit him up with the foul plays. If he goes into Cobalion and gets the boost, then that's a something I'll have to deal with, but I need to deal with the Gyarados. It's a more immediate threat, in my opinion, so that's exactly what I go for. And I'm going to go out here into my Toxicroak in what I think is a pretty good play. I thought this was a pretty good play on my part, because I do have the Dry Skin, and I do have Sucker Punch. He can't sub on me because he's at 15%. I can just Sucker Punch and finish him off, so that works out very nicely for me. And he's going to end up forfeiting at this point. I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I don't get angry at people for forfeiting on the ladder. Like, I forfeited lots of times. When you realize you've lost the game, I mean, it's not that he did lose the game at this point. I don't want to say that, but I don't get angry at people for forfeiting at the point when they've realized they've lost the game. Like, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I forfeited lots of games where I think they're unwinnable, just because you're kind of wasting time otherwise. So, like, not angry at anyone for. I never get angry at someone for forfeiting a ladder game. Like, that's not a thing to get angry about. You know, it's a game. If you don't want to play it, then you can forfeit. I mean, I'm not losing out on it. As long as you're not timer stalling me, then it's not affecting me. I still get the win, right? So I never get angry at someone for forfeiting a ladder game, unless it's, I don't know. There's a few scenarios where I might get angry about it, but typically I won't get angry at someone for forfeiting a ladder game, in all honesty, as long as they're not just timer stalling it. So that's not what I'm angry about. What I am kind of a little bit annoyed about is this right here. I'll put a screen cap of the chat log, I guess, into the thing. I don't think it's a chat log. It's like 3 messages right at the end. But I'll put that up, and then I'll kind of explain what I think about it. All right, so there's a few like popular YouTubers who go under the like they make it's actually like a pretty big thing that a lot of people are doing right now is they like to use fun sets on the lower ladder and win with like gimmicky sets. Just gimmicks is really the biggest thing. So there's a set like a pretty big there's a few pretty big YouTubers that go under the guise of low ladder heroes, and they make a bunch of things on the low ladder with a bunch of fun sets. The thing I remember that they've used before is Sucker Punch, Rotom, Wash. That's the only thing that I really remember of it. And they go under and they make their videos called Low Ladder Heroes, and they have fun with that. So I want to make sure that because I mean the name in the chat log is Low Ladder Heroes. I want to make sure to say right now that I don't think it is these people. I don't want anyone else to think that I'm calling these people out. I really don't think that it's these people because, I mean, Low Ladder Heroes is a pretty, I guess, generic term to make a name around. You can always switch like zeros for the O's or misspell stuff to make a very similar name. So I really don't think it's these people anyway. And like I said, it's kind of a generation thing where a lot of people like to use gimmicky sets in the low ladder. His team wasn't gimmicky at all. I don't think it didn't really seem gimmicky. So I want to make sure to say that I don't think these people are the popular YouTubers. So I don't want anyone to think I'm calling these people out because a few reasons. I have seen a few of these people's videos. Like I don't watch them religiously. I've seen a few of them, I think. Well, I've seen them on other people's channels, I guess, but they don't seem like. Well, first of all, they don't really seem like douchebags. They kind of seem like nice people, and I like to believe they're nice people. And the other thing is they don't seem like bad players from what I've seen from their videos. So for that reason, I think they would understand the difference between a bad play and a good play. So yeah, like I said, I don't think it's these people. I really don't. But getting into it, I do want to say that this is kind of the reason why I don't play UU, and it might just be me being in the wrong place at the wrong time all the time on the UU ladder, but this is like all the time for me on the UU ladder is people like this. And people, when I say people like this, I mean people who, like, people just in general have a really hard time losing, and they don't like to, I don't know if I'd say admit, but like they don't like to accept that anyone else could possibly beat them. So anytime anyone loses, they always like to put it off to an excuse like, oh, I expected this person to be good, so I went for the right play, he went for the wrong play, so I lost because, he's bad and I expected him to be good, or something like that. Or people always like to, when you lose, they always like to put it down to that you made the bad play or you're bad or something like that, because they never like to put it down to anyone else being better than them, I guess. And the thing about Pokemon is being better is not really a specific thing. Like being specifically better than someone isn't really, like, I can play somebody and I can beat someone and then I can play them again and they can beat me again, right? So there's a lot of things where like it's not specifically better than someone else. It's you each play and there's going to be one person who wins and one person who loses. So that's just the thing about Pokemon is it's not like skill level is kind of hard to measure and it's kind of hard to define, I suppose. Just a really quick thing I want to mention about that. But like I said, just people get really defensive with Pokemon, with losing, and they find taking losses really, really hard. And they always try to criticize plays you make. So as you see right here, we pick up the 4-0, and he's obviously going to say in the chat that I'm a bad player. So that's of course always funny. And then of course I think I messaged them. I don't really remember specifically what we said word for word. I think I initiated it, and I was saying something about how they made fun of me and I got the 6-0. But people always jump to your ladder ranking as the quantifiable thing what makes that measures your skill level. So I mean, everyone knows that on my channel I like to use fun things and I like to use gimmick things, and I mean, whenever I use stupid things, it's yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to catch loses with stupid things, and whenever I use stupid sets, I forfeit a decent amount of times against games that I just don't want to play. Like, if I'm using a really, really gimmick team and I come against a really, really good team that I just can't beat, like a lot of gimmick teams I make just can't touch like a few things, like chancy stall. I think in OU there's a few times where like you make like really hard gimmick teams and then you come against like full stall and you're like, well, I can't win this. So I don't know, there's a few times where I just forfeit from team matchup if I'm using a fun team or a just a gimmick team. So that's one thing, of course, and then of course just like I like to play fun games in general, so I'm gonna catch loses and I'm gonna catch wins, and whenever I'm just playing for fun and not playing super competitively, then that's another thing in general. So I don't think ladder ranking is a very good way to measure how good you are, but I feel people always jump to that as the go-to thing to measure your skill. And I have a higher ladder rank than you, that means I'm better than you, even if you beat me, I suppose. I don't know, I just find people who, I don't know, blame losses on stuff, and again, we all do it. Like, no one wants to lose, and no one wants to think that they're bad, and it doesn't make you bad to lose, but nobody likes to have that as a feeling. So everyone always likes to jump to some excuse for why they lost and why your opponent won, and they always like to jump to that your opponent is just bad and that's a bad play. And I guess touching on that, obviously that wasn't a bad play. In my opinion, I think that was a good play going to the Toxicroak on the Gyarados, because, I mean, obviously we have Dry Skin, and obviously he can't sub on me because he was at a low amount of health, and obviously Sucker Punch is going to take him out. I think they were criticizing my play before they saw Sucker Punch, and then after they saw Sucker Punch, they had already criticized the play. So once you drop an insult, you have to stick by it, or else you look stupid. So they, I guess, just had to hold by it, even though they were wrong. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't even really know what I'm trying to say. It just kind of annoys me that people are like this. And I mean, like I said, we're all like this at times, but like, it's just annoying to have to deal with. And I think the main point I'm getting at is just I see this all the time on the UU ladder, primarily on the UU ladder. I don't know why. Like, I thought like OU would be like the biggest cringe tier in terms of like people getting really salty or really defensive or really angry. So I really thought that would be OU, but like I see this all the time in UU, like primarily in UU. It's like an oversaturation of like these really aggressive defensive players who get really, really salty. And yeah, I don't know why specifically in UU, because like I play all the tiers and I play them all pretty much for fun. I don't see, I mean, obviously you see that in OU, because as I mentioned, it is a pretty cringeworthy tier. And I'm not saying all UU players like this. Obviously, I'm not saying that. There's a lot of really good UU players, and there's a lot of very high skilled people in UU. But like, there's a lot of salt in UU, and like, there's not as much in OU. There's a lot of salt in OU, but there's not as much. And then like NU and PU people are usually a lot more lighthearted and like to have fun a bit more. And I don't know, they're usually just a lot nicer and a lot less quick to jump to getting angry at the other person. And RU might just be because I'm not very good at RU, I guess, but I don't see very much salt in RU. Again, that might just be because I'm kind of bad at RU, in all honesty. But I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm trying to get at right here. I just wanted to put a quick video up here. Again, I don't think that these are those big YouTubers, so don't think that I'm trying to call anybody out. It's just, I don't know, it's just a fun thing of people who get really salty and call other people bad and other plays bad when they're not and when they're wrong. But I don't know, I don't know, I'm not really sure what to say. It was a fun battle. That was kind of what I wanted to, I guess, get at. And Yeah, I guess I'm really not sure what I want to say. What do you guys think? Like, what do you think is the most salty tier? Because like again, I could just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, just all the time when I play UU. But what do you guys think is the most salty tier? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? I don't know. What do you guys think?